My name is Emmanuel Barbie. I am the founder and president of the Grassroots Community Activist Movement. First, I would like to invite everyone on my friends list and those in my social groups from Facebook, Google+, LinkedIn, Twitter, and WordPress to participate in my free webinar on June 15th from 7 p.m. to 12 a.m. Central Time on Facebook and also on Skype. My topic is entitled The Battle for Chicago, Community Pledge Conference 2016. I provide a link to my revised book on my YouTube video under the comments section. I will do FaceTime with those of you who want to chat with me in real time. I am also available on Skype. To chat with me on there, to send me a friend request. My screen name is Manuel for Mankind. That's MANWELL, the number 4, MANKIND. Before I give my spiritual presentation, I would like to say a short prayer. Heavenly Father, touch the hearts and minds of those who are watching this video. Let them understand the importance of my message and the seriousness which is taking place in our inner cities of Chicago and beyond. Attract all Christian denominations within the United States and abroad to participate in my free webinars. Allow them to purchase my revised book and spread my vision you have given me with their family, friends, their place of worship, and at their local community center. In Jesus' name. Allow my future business to become a tourist attraction to promote our programs and services. Let it be diverse and become the best African American business within the United States in Jesus' name. The topic of discussion: the Grassroots Community Activist Movement is part of the greater works mentioned in the Bible. It's my hope that through this presentation that I can connect with like-minded individuals who are tired of just talking about social issues, but rather network with me to solve our social problems here in Chicago and eventually beyond Chicago. For in the book of James, chapter 2, verse 14 through 26, it says, faith without works is dead. In the book of John, chapter 14, verses 12, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works shall he do, because I go unto my Father. The prophet Ezekiel had a vision about the valley of dry bones according to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, verse 1 through 14. And now I'm just summarizing kind of what it says. I'm paraphrasing, but you can read it again from those Bible verses I just quoted. Again, that's chapter 37, 1 through 14. So this is my interpretation of what I got out of it. God directed him to prophesy the rebirth of Israel in chapter 36. God had just announced through the prophet that Israel will be restored to her land and blessing under the leadership of David, my servant, who shall be king over them. In the book of Ezekiel, chapter 37, verse 24. However, it seemed remote in light of Israel's present condition. She was dead as a nation, deprived of her land, her king, and her temple. She had been divided and dispersed for so long that unification and restoration seemed impossible. So God gave Ezekiel the vision of dry bones as a sign. God transported Ezekiel into a vision to a valley full of dry bones and directed him to speak to the bones. Ezekiel was told that God would make breath enter into the bones and they would come to life. Just as in creation of man when he breathed life into Adam in the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 7. Ezekiel obeyed, and the bones became together. Flesh developed, skin covered the bones, breath entered them, and they stood up in a vast army. This vision symbolized the whole house of Israel that was then in captivity. The people were in a state of living death, pending away with no end to their judgment in sight. The surviving Israelites felt their national hope had been dashed, and the nation had died in the flames of Babylon with no hope of restoration. Now, in contrast, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ has given me an awesome vision on how to improve our inner cities here in Chicago. GRCAM is that greater work because for 24 years my plan has been overlooked by established black organizations here in my city. I have not found any black churches in my former community or in my current community to work with me in moving my virtual organization from behind a computer. What is wrong with this picture? Yet since 2001, over 4,000 people has been killed in Chicago alone, and as a result, Chicago is currently the murder capital in America. We see that nothing out there is working to end the senseless violence in our community. Why not embrace my plan? The financial elites have divided us by social class, political affiliation, and religion on the grounds that we should hate each other due to this Willie Lynch mentality. We do not patronize each other's ideas, visions, and dreams. As a racial group, we hold more hatred, resentment, and bitterness toward one another. And all of this stuff kind of reminds me of Joseph in the Bible. His brothers hated him. Joseph had a dream, and he told his brothers. They thought Joseph was trying to be a big shot, so they decided to put him in a pit and sold him into slavery. The moral of the story is talking about a vision for his people and also his family. This is the time where we have to make a decision to work collectively and put aside our differences and love our brother. In the book of 1 John chapter 4, verse 20, if a man said, I love God and hateth his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen, how can he love God whom he hath not seen? We cannot say we love everybody and hate our own people or racial group. For 400 years, we as black people have had this self-inflicted wound. When will this end? Since I lacked the manpower and the capital to start my Christian business, I decided to put my faith into action by writing the vision and making it plain in my revised book, The Solution for Black America, Reclaiming, Rebuilding, and Restoring the Urban Ghettos in America, 2nd edition, on Amazon.com. My book is just the beginning. Once I generate enough capital from my book sale and have my management team in place, then I will start the Grassroots Community Activist Institute here in Chicago, first on the west side of Chicago, and then eventually on the south side of Chicago. We're going to cover the Austin community, the Garfield Park community, as well as North Mondale community, because those are the areas that I'm familiar with, and currently right now that's where a lot of senseless violence has taken place, and a lot of innocent children are just being shot down, and um, nobody really seems to know what to do. I mean, yes, they have a whole lot of police that's trying to come in there, but again, those police officers have to go home. They have their own families. So that's not a real solution. Just flood those high crime areas with police officers. What I'm trying to do is, again, try to first and foremost have me qualified people on my management team. Because again, I can't do all this type of stuff alone. My goal is to work with families that want to utilize our programs and services. And once I have my business established on the west side of Chicago, my staff and I would use a mandatory orientation to get the community residents to be involved in what the organization is going to provide for them. And if they agree, they have to sign that consent form that they agree with the principles laid out in my book, and they will learn a short version of those principles, but yet they still going to have to sign that consent form, and that's where that community pledge come in, because everything that I've written in my book, that's my end of the bargain. And so I want to have the community to become equal partners, at least half of the community. Now, other communities, they reject, what I'm trying to do in terms of providing a safe environment for their children once they're in our facilities, where they can play and feel free and feel safe, and have our security and mechanisms and all that stuff in place, and build a professional relationship with the parents. Then I would be more than willing to go out my way to work with those families. Again, if families not interested, because this is a private organization, no love laws, I keep it moving. But again, no parents in their right mind want to see their children shot down like an animal. And this bugs me to my guts that I keep seeing this, and I run across a lot of quote unquote so-called brothers and sisters that tell me up front that they're not interested. And so it's not white people that's giving me a hard time, it's our own people. That's just the reality. That's why it's been 24 years. November 10th, 2016 will mark 25 years. The Lord knows I'm patient. I'm doing the best that I can to, keep on pushing. I hate to keep seeing a lot of children being shot down, innocent, especially innocent kids being shot. Yesterday I heard on the news that a woman got shot on 35th and State. She just went into, I believe it was Starbucks, got her a cup of coffee, came outside and got shot down for no reason, without a cause, and she ended up losing her life. Just ridiculous. But again, my message is being ignored. I'm taken for joke. But all I can do right now at this point in time is continue to hold on to my faith, continue to promote my book, and to continue to hope that people will reach out, read my story, support. I'm not asking for any donations. The support that I want is for people to purchase the book and share my book information with their families and friends, so I can generate enough capital so I can go ahead and hire qualified people to be on my management team and for us to get the ball rolling. That's all. Again, my pledge to the inner city of Chicago residents is that none of my members will ever have to endure such humiliation and rejection for trying to start something positive in the black community. I wrote my book to help raise awareness about the genocide which is taking place in our inner cities in America and provide an action plan on how we are going to solve urban violence, one community, one city, one state at a time. I also wrote my book to promote my virtual organization, the Grassroots Community Activist Movement. I created the Grassroots Community Activist Movement on the belief that our inner city youth and their families are entitled to respect, basic resources, and a sense of safety in their own community. I welcome all Christian denominations, moderate Muslims, and secular people within the United States to join my cause. Help stop the genocide in American ghettos, starting in Chicago. Finally, I wrote my book in order to generate capital, seed money, so that I can hire qualified individuals to assist me in the daily operations of my Christian business. I want to make Chicago a model first before we expand to 25 other cities within 25 states. Once GRCAM is established in 25 states, I plan on having Native Africans in America to assist me in setting up chapters in 25 countries in Africa. GRCAM, which is the Grassroots Community Activist Institute, is about building a strong, unified global community and providing basic resources to families that want to utilize our programs and services. GRCAM is about is open to all law-abiding citizens, all racial groups, and undiscovered artists. This is my contribution back to my community, society, and throughout the African diaspora. I just want it to be known that you don't have to be black to be part of this organization. Again, all I care about is you agree with the principles. Because if people don't agree, then things will be just like it is in Washington. Things don't really get done. People just do a lot of sound biting, and the status quo remains. In this organization, we're about solving social issues, especially black issues. We want to solve that once and for all, so that way we can move forward. Again, all African Americans and black Americans will not agree with this, so that's fine. Again, that's why it's private. That's why the Lord put it in my heart to make this a private organization, so that way I can just bypass those people that not interested in solving the problems in the black community. The vision I discuss in my book indicates new life depending on God's power alone and not the circumstances of people. Putting breath by the power of God in the bones show that God would not only restore our inner cities in the natural but also in the spiritual. It will be fulfilled in God's timing, no matter how bad I want to start it. God will perform this miracle and prove to my enemies that He is on my side and He selected me to run this organization. Even if my Christian organization does not come to pass in my lifetime, at least future generations will know my story and what I was trying to do for my people and my city. Peace and blessings. Peace over violence. Thank you for watching this video. I got two more Bible references that I would like to mention. And they are Proverbs 29 verse 18. Where there is no vision, the people perish. But he that keepeth the law, happy is he. Matthew chapter 9 verse 37 through 38. Then said he unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Pray ye therefore the Lord of harvest, that he will send forth laborers unto his harvest. Again, I appreciate all this for you taking the time to review my YouTube video. And again, I just pray to God to just forgive those ministries, Lord, that overlook me because I'm not famous. I'm not affiliated with the political politics here and the cronyism that takes place in Chicago. My organization is independent, and we're not affiliated with no one. Again, I just want to work with ordinary law-abiding citizens. I'm not interested. They already rejected me for the longest, so I'm not going to go back to them. They already made their point. And I'm just doing my part to help improve our inner cities. I want to be more than just that voice. I want to be able to get this business started. And again, I see 30 people within the United States, and I notice, again, after 15 years, ain't nobody stepped forward. So that's how come it motivated me to just write my story. Now my story is out there. The first book got ripped off, and so I'm focusing on that revised book. That's the foundation of my organization, and that's what we're going to use to build this great positive organization for our inner city youth, because they deserve it. They deserve more, and I care about them. And depending on our budget and sponsorship, we will offer private employment to our clients and members. But again, I just want everybody in the United States to know what I'm trying to do for my city, and make yourself known. Everything in my book, I provide all my contact information, so that I don't have nothing to hide. I'm ready to make it happen. Again, I got my business plan on standby. I'm still looking for those. I'm looking for Christian film directors that's going to work with me to turn my book into a good Christian movie. I'm still looking for business partners that's willing to work with me so we can get the ball rolling. But my book, that's my credibility. I mean, I came from the inner cities, and I want to do more than just give back. I want to build a great organization that can be passed down from generations, and that can bring in revenue to help improve our inner cities, so that way that crime rate can go down. But one thing for sure, we are screening everybody. I don't want any hardened criminals. I don't want any rapists and pedophiles to be in the midst of us, because we're trying to raise up a generation that's pure and not, which are the youth, and we don't want them to get tainted. So that's where I stand on that. And again, no criminals, no active gang members, and no half-steppers. This is me, and this is how I get down.